I'm gonna cut back over to you guys.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
So I had this snake come back,
Mhm.
and I actually just, I look at Skeeter and I say, I gotta go in and, I gotta make sure. And I go up and I kick the door.
Okay.
And I put my flashlight away and I have my machine gun out and I just kick the door open and look in.
Okay. You kick the door open.
Yeah, I
okay.
kick the door open and look in, kind of look up to see where I had I had seen the snake, see that pulsating meat bag.
Yeah, you.
Alright, I'll cover you.
Oh yeah, I don't say Skeeter cover me, but
No, I gotcha.
Apparently
I got my
Skeeter's a
fire
boss.
axe.
He knows.
I got my fire axe.
Okay, so you go. Okay, fair enough. So you guys. You
Yeah, I
go.
look for that long pork bag.
Okay, that's long pork. I love that. You go in there. As you kick the door open, you just see the sack just kind of come into the central view as it's like dripping mucus. It looks like the floorboards. Yeah, just kind of sliding off.
What
of
is
it.
the it's pulsating? What is
It is. It's pulsating. It's like wrapped in some sort of white membrane. It almost looks like a spider's egg sac. But
no.
you see like it looks like as you get a closer look, there's arms hanging out, human arms, and then human legs, and a face in there, and it kind of like looks up and looks at
The
you.
face does?
Yeah,
Oh,
the person
fuck that.
comes.
I shoot that.
It's a human.
In the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The bag
I-
is like forming around him. He's like.
Yeah,
"Help me."
I help him with a bullet.
You shoot him in the head.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You,
it's gotta go.
You shoot him, the person in the head.
What do I call it? It wasn't a person.
It was
It was a person in a sack.
yeah.
Like,
The sack was around the human.
It was not a person anymore.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, this is
Oh,
become
fuck that.
this. You put the bullet through the human's head.
I remember how Skeeter solves problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
says help.
Fuck that. No.
Justified.
No. Yeah.
As
It's
you-
gotta go.
As you put a bullet through the human's head, the sack it starts to jitter and gyrate, and it snaps off of the ceiling rafter and hits the ground and explodes like a raspberry.
Oh.
And you see these
Are we like
sort of.
covered in goo or something now?
No, you're far enough back that it
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
slap you. But when it explodes like that, you see maybe I don't know, 12 or between 12 and 20 of these sort of 2-foot long snake-like creatures that start burrowing into the sand.
Can you control those fuckers?
I don't know if I want to.
They're not animals. They're not animals in the
Sure.
true sense.
Well, I imagine it's probably too late. They're already in the ground.
You know.
I don't think I would have dove to grab one.
Oh, we
That's-
got.
I fucking wouldn't.
I don't think the sheriff would have.
This should know.
I would be with
You gotta touch them to control them.
Well, yeah.
That's
how I would
we
control my
probably need
snakes.
to. We probably outside of the game. We probably need to sit down and be like, okay, what do I?
Well, out of game, so far in game, what we've established is that he's been able to call birds.
I can
and
call
call,
birds.
call real
Call
animals.
animals.
we said that Atlas could probably find dogs
Right.
or dog-like animals.
Yes, and we've established that he could
out
have.
of game, because I don't know if Skeeter knew this in game, so I'd say out of game. But I thought that the only time that he had to touch was when they were
If he's gonna.
much like with the Sasquatch, like anything
Yeah.
that was like
Well, I touched the
much
spiders because I
crazier
didn't call them.
Yeah, you didn't
creature. So I wasn't. I mean, that question in game was just to be like, I don't know what your powers are like.
Oh,
control,
sure. Okay.
control outright is going to require touch. He can summon and try to influence, talk to them, ask them for assistance, but they have a mind of their own at that point. You know, if he wants to try and control one, he can't. We haven't established that he can control a mass. He can control one and be able to, see through its eyes. So, like the birds, for instance, he was asking them to attack, and they weren't. Because they have small brains. They have
Well, and
brains.
that's why a human would be very hard to. A human would be very difficult for him to take control
Human-
because it's not.
Ooh, and a human can't really. He could do boots.
What if I could?
Boots.
What if the human had a hole in its skull and I could put my finger on its brain?
No, because that
I
breaks
don't actually have a
into.
hole in my skull, goddammit.
That breaks into
I'm
psychiatric
trying to figure my
powers.
skull.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't realize that this was gonna turn into a Max-Min kind of situation. Okay,
Oh,
so.
God. So wait, how many of those? You said it was like a dozen?
Maybe 20, maybe
Oh,
12,
fuck.
it's like, you could count them. They burrowed into the sand really quickly and, they disappeared.
How big were they? They were like snakes,
2 to 4
rattlesnake
feet.
size?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
I was too horrified. Yeah, I look at Skeeter, like, exactly like this.
Okay. What do you guys do?
Skeeter, we gotta get everyone back on the plane.
As you, okay, do you go back up?
Yeah, I run
Do
out,
we-
yeah, I
do we-
run out the door.
Do we have any fuel for the plane?
Well, fuck it, let's get back on the plane for now, we'll figure that out later.
As you get back,
I run out and I'm like, back on the plane, I'm like waving my hat.
And
Back on the plane, back.
Wouldn't it be in
Have
the-
I was already on the plane because I'm watching them like this.
Yeah,
running
yeah,
back to the plane.
he's watching the sheriff, he sees the sheriff come out of the door,
okay, you tell them to get back
yeah,
on the
so
plane.
back on the plane, yeah, I'm like looking at the kids, trying to get the kids back on the plane.
Can I look all around to see what, like,
Sure.
all
Make it,
information I can kind of glean
yeah, make
from?
me a notice check.
Do you want up here?
4?
Cat?
Yeah.
He is a lapdog.
You have a wizard.
Yes, you, as you're looking out and you see the sheriff standing here at the steps, you can't really hear him, but you can see him. Back on the plane, he's like waving his hat, trying to get people's attention. You see in the sand what look to be like, snakes.
Oh,
Like, underneath the sand, they're coming, and they're coming one up to this guy right here.
No.
As a snake, as you see something jump out and bite it right here, not the crotch, but inside the inner thigh, and bite down really hard. It's hard to make out what it is, but it's sand colored, whatever it is.
And how big
As he
is it?
comes down, it's maybe 2 feet long.
Do
How thick?
Skeeter and I see that too?
Yeah, about that.
Do Skeeter and I see that?
Yeah, you see this guy. Oh my God! As militiaman one comes over here and says, "What's up?" And he tries to go down to come down to help him. As 2 more of these snake things,
No.
one attaches to his arm, and the other in here, and then to the back of his neck, and he's like,
Oh my guns. I'm
I'm
just gonna shout off the sand,
off the sand. As
because the runway's still intact, you said, right?
Correct. As you do that, over you hear a guy, somebody, a voice coming from up here and says, "Come here! You gotta get inside! Get off the sand!" As he's saying, "Get off the sand!" So you have up there on the plane saying, "Get off the sand," and then you have a voice coming from here, "Come inside! Get off the sand!" You're kind of caught in the between. It'll take you equal amount of time to get to both locations. What'd you do?
The children are on the tarmac?
The children are on the tarmac. And you see like this civilian says, no, get back in, children. It's a woman.
Oh, I can see that?
Yeah, you see that.
Oh, fuck it, then I run over, I follow Skeeter over to that other building. Once I
Skeeter,
see,
you go in
once I
here.
see, once
You just run past this guy.
yeah, Skeeter runs past them, pop. No, once I see the children are getting back, once I see the children are on the tarmac, I run back, and I'm like, Atlas, you know.
Yeah, that's
and then he
okay.
comes with me. I think that forever should be the Atlas meme. I love that it's a cat.
That's fine.
No! I guess that solves our people problems. Oh, does this guy get in the?
He goes inside the building.
basement?
What is this guy doing? Is he on the
He stays on top of the crane.
Oh, he's on the
The guy, the voice, whoever's yelling at him from upstairs says, "Stay on the crane! Stay on the crane! They can't feel you unless you're on the sand." So he stays there. As these guys get eaten and pulled into the sand.
Oh fuck! Like they're being dragged down or like
Yeah, dragged
pulled down or
Yeah, dragged down. And you see.
can I shoot them?
Yeah, you can shoot them. He wants to shoot them and put them on his injury. Is that what you're trying to do?
Sure. He's like, yeah, no, I
Yeah,
just,
fuck it.
I walked into the room and I say, I don't want to
Absolutely,
murder
absolutely.
people.
As soon as I open, what is it? Like a big door, a double door, a barn door?
It's just a door, yeah.
It's just a door. Is there a window on the bottom floor?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I go behind the window and I butt of the gun. And as they're being dragged, that's when I decide I'm just gonna shoot them.
Okay.
Just waste all my ammo.
Perfect. Yeah, they maybe more bullets. Okay,
Oh god.
they're
Are
disappearing.
do they get dragged under even though
Yeah.
they're dead? Oh,
Yeah, they get dragged under.
oh fuck.
And actually, from where they got dragged under, you see like sand going, like puffs of sand, and then there's like a spray of blood and puffs of sand.
Boots.
I'm assuming none of this stuff was around before I left, so.
What was
Any,
it?
does my character know, anything about these snakes
No,
from anything? And,
no.
okay, so they're not,
This is not something that you are familiar with in the slightest. This certainly didn't exist.
no, that's what
back then.
I mean. I just mean, in all hearings about weird shit going
No.
down. Okay.
Man,
The
I
snakes-
barely even had a glimmer of those from Grandpappy's stories.
Yeah, no, these snakes, as far as the conversations that you had with Ronnie?
No.
No. Okay, so you guys get inside there, in the building, it looks like it was an old, a use for a mess hall at some point, you know, there was tables set up there and food. You notice that the ground in that building, there's floorboards that have been blown out, and so they have actually access to the sand. And in the very back of the building are some steps. You hear a voice, you see light come down as a door opens up and says, "Come on up here, come on up here."
Yeah, me and
All
Alice,
right.
me and Alice,
Let's go.
yeah, me and Alice go up there, still,
See
you know,
what's happening.
gun in hand. Okay.
Okay. You, Atlas, and, okay. You get upstairs into the door slams behind you, and, but from behind the door, there's a guy with a shotgun, and he has this long, straggly beard, and he looks like crazy eyes. So where'd you come from? Where'd you come from? Where'd that Nazi plane come from?
Mommy and daddy, where are those?
How long is his beard? Is it like you know
Yeah,
down to here like?
It's like, down to here.
Okay.
It's been a year or two,
Okay.
2 years maybe.
Like a fucking bird. There's not like a bird nest in it.
Yeah, no,
It's like a
no.
squirrel.
This is-
Radagast.
He says,
There you go.
where'd
You
you
haven't
come?
figured it out.
Where'd you come from?
Now listen here, we may have us a Nazi plane, but we ain't some goddamn Nazis.
Well, you don't look like Nazis to me.
Well,
You have to get your people off of the sand. As he goes back over to the front window, and he runs out there. Get off the sand! Keeps yelling out there.
well, I think everybody that was on the sand is now dead, except for us and a couple fellas that made it off the sand.
Yeah, I asked him about what in the hell are those?
He says, I don't know. They showed up maybe a year ago. I had other people who were living here, about 20 or so. It was a small little village. They moved. They're refugees who are moving west from serpent-fall, from the poison lands. We held up here because we had lots of food. I used to work here, but it's
I say, do you know someone named Victor?
yes, I do. Is he flying that plane?
Yeah, I run to the window and I'm like, Victor, god damn it, get your ass over here.
He says, Victor, is that you?
And it'll be like, Ronnie?
Yeah.
I'm looking
Well,
more
shit! Hey, this is a bunch of hillbilly bullshit I heard.
What the fuck is going on?
It'll be like, this place has really gone to hell.
Tell me about it.
I'll be like, is there a way to cross without touching the sand?
You got a car? And that big ass plane of yours?
And I push Ronnie away and
Do we?
Victor, my motorcycle.
I'm not
The keys
driving
are
a
in
fucking
the
motorcycle across this thing.
It's got a sidecar.
He does have a sidecar. You're not driving the
Oh
motorcycle?
fuck.
Just shadow them. Like, what are they afraid of?
What?
The fucking snakes. What are they afraid of?
Ronnie's gone crazy.
How would I know?
How long have you been living with these snakes, Ronnie?
They've eaten everybody.
Okay, so you're not afraid of people. Have you noticed anything else?
They're attracted to vibrations.
I'll be back.
What are you doing?
Just hang tight.
Up, jump,
Perfect.
jump.
You do notice,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna head back toward the plant and,
There you go.
actually confer with Hans.
You say it again?
I'm gonna go back to the plant and actually confer with Hans.
It's got magnetic tape of Nazi speeches.
No. But you
That's
notice it
low
as you
light.
guys are sitting in there. He has a radio going, Ronnie has a radio going.
Okay.
And this is playing over.
Ronnie's Nazi. I think we should become Nazis.
You go back to Hans.
Actually, I wanted to ask one more question.
Yeah.
Shout out, Ronnie, what the fuck is with the antenna? Cause that wasn't there when I left.
Radio! Get over here, I'll explain.
Alright, hang tight.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to Hans.
Hans, get in the car. We're driving.
Do we recognize the voice? Is it Hitler? Do we
Yeah.
recognize it as Adolf Hitler?
Hitler's voice,
Am I at Hans yet?
I
Or?
don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm
If
just
I'm
reading
gonna
through.
do something,
Uh,
just be ready.
I'm just gonna
I do that. Yes.
break it down for him.
Hey, so I'm,
Give him an update. Like, so here's what we're at.
Hans says, oh, that's very interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting. Please, for the love of Christ, don't make these things any worse.
I'm gonna take my axe to this goddamn Nazi radio.
Oh, you're gonna
Seriously?
axe the radio.
Okay. Make me, yeah, pull it up.
The radio's like
That would be a fight roll, right?
Yeah. No, the weapons actually, but yeah, fight.
What's cool?
Okay. You go to the radio, and he says, "Get over here, I'll explain." As you hit with the axe, and sparks start flying. Ronnie says, "No, what are you doing?" He runs over there. It's like, "That's our only way to talk to the outside. It's the only working radio within 1,000 miles, you son of a bitch." The radio was trapped. You just axed it.
Okay, yeah, I step in between them two. Hold on, just a minute. We got bigger problems than this goddamn radio. And I said, I look at Skinner. God damn it, Skinner! And I look at this mountain man motherfucker on my left. And like, you got Ronnie or whatever the fuck your name is. There's a radio on that plane out there.
That doesn't work. He thinks it doesn't work. There's no radio around here that works. It's the cloud cover. Something's in the venom of the snake, makes the sky green, it doesn't work. That's what this antenna is. He opens up a latch on top of the roof, because he's up in like an attic space.
Okay.
And you see that he has this big long cable that's tied and goes into the clouds.
Yeah, I tell him, Ronnie, you're just gonna have to trust us, Ronnie. We gotta.
Trust you, a madman with an axe.
We got a goddamn Nazi on that plane who's talking to the North Pole and Antarctica.
And you're listening to Germans gibbering their German language.
It's the only thing that's been playing for months. Of course I'm listening to
Well,
it.
that's not contact with the outside world now, is it? That's just a radio play of fucking Nazis.
Hitler's dead, Ronnie. He shot himself.
He said, no.
Did he shoot himself in this one? Sorry, out of game. Did Hitler commit suicide? Do we know?
You would not know.
If do we believe
You
Hitler's dead?
know, it is common belief that the Nazis are dead,
Okay.
and that the Nazis don't exist because the serpent fell on Germany.
Okay.
And so
Sure,
Germany,
so Hitler's dead. He's crushed under serpents.
correct, and all the
That's what I
other
believe.
Nazis are.
Yeah.
And that's what you believe, that's what,
Yeah,
well,
sure.
that's what you believed up
Yeah,
until
that's what I know.
Hans.
Sure. Yeah.
Hans showed up and Hans has established that there are Nazis on the locations and that
The North Pole and the South.
the Fourth Reich is strong in there.
Fourth Reich.
Yeah, so anyways, he says, these are new, they're not recordings. These are not speeches that have happened during the war. And the Nazis are supposed to be dead. How are they continuing to produce radio?
How do you know they knew, Ronnie?
Cause I have had nothing to do here for the past 2 years besides learning how to read German. And he slams down German code breaking. It's a military manual.
I asked him, what in the hell was he just saying? Hitler's dead, the snake crushed all of Germany.
I don't know. Then this last time, he was talking to the youth, the Aryan youth of the world, that they need to unite and join the Nazi cause. It's always some gibberish, but in the middle of each of these, there's number codes that come out, and I've been tracking it. My journal pulls it out his journal and I'm tapping it.
He's crazy.
There's number codes. Happens in each of these speeches. Everyone, sometime in the middle of it, stops and there's number codes. I haven't figured out what they are yet.
How many of these number codes you got?
He pulls out a journal and he just pages and pages. All he's been doing is
Ronny, Ronny, I'm sorry I destroyed your radio, but we may have something even better than that.
Yeah.
As far as going along with your number codes.
Well, he's talking to, I go to the window and I start yelling for Hans. Hans, you Nazi fuck.
Oh, he's our friend. Our friend! We need you up here. Our friend.
Get over here.
He says, yeah.
We got a guy in here who can speak German.
Yeah?
And I'll be like,
I go, yeah.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder. Hans, don't go in the sand.
But if I heard him correctly, we could drive a vehicle. We have a vehicle.
We have half a vehicle. We have a motorcycle.
Yeah, but it has a sidecar. Yeah, we could drive across the sand. Yeah.
Just by looking at the sand, is this like nice flat sand? Or is this
Yes.
a street motorcycle will do this?
You don't know. Maybe. Unlikely. No.
Hans, I just saw these things leap out of the ground. You know, like coiled springs.
Hans says, Oot, I have an idea. Come.
I was hoping.
Well,
Come up with something.
So Hans, he goes into the fuselage and opens up a door and grabs out what appears to be some heavy-duty cabling, and he walks over there. He gets up on top of the plane, pulls out his pneumatic rifle. He puts some amps on it, the cabling, and he
Line.
I forgot he had that.
ting, and sticks it on the top of the roof of that building. And attaches it, and he says, "Oh, look, we have a bridge we can cross."
Alright, I was really hoping you still had that, Hans.
So he affixes it to the wing of the plane, and he takes off his belt and puts it around there, and
Just as a reminder, Hans is in full Nazi regalia.
yeah,
Full Nazi regalia. Medals, hat, everything. Yeah.
as he comes and he actually flies through the window of the thing. Ronnie jumps out of the way.
There's Ronny.
Don't
Ronny's
shoot.
just
Not
trophy.
yet. Yeah.
I was
Don't
trying
shoot.
to find
Not
that
yet.
bearded dude, but I don't see a bearded dude.
Yeah. I would say we're not shooting him yet. Ronnie, we're not shooting him yet. Not yet. As I'm looking at Hans. Not yet. We're not shooting him yet.
And Hans says, "Oh, yeah, what's happening? What's going on? Here, you have some information that important for me. You speak German?"
I just look at him and I go like, Hans, is Hitler alive?
Well, that depends on what you consider to be alive. But yes, he exists certainly in mind.
I'm just gonna jump right into Hans's skull and
I'm gonna clip
mind
in.
fucking with my I am your god stunt.
So you're gonna call over?
Yeah, I'll get a metal chain though.
Yeah, sure.
Since I've already loosened him up nicely, I can just slip him on there.
Yeah, you remember, you get a free invoke of
That's-
his aspects.
That's literally the you can describe that.
Who's slapping your dick?
Rape is rape. Nothing pretty about it.
I'm pretty much rape.
Alright, so that's
Oh, is it?
that's a +5.
You got a +5?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, he gets the roll, sorry.
Yeah, he gets a roll as like, fuck, when this campaign is done or when Hans is dead, I want to see his character too.
Sure.
Assuming we don't die before him.
I'm not dying. After that shit that happened in Grass Valley, I'm not dying. I'm shoot first, ask questions, never.
Even if it's a radio.
Boots, quiet, buddy. You rolled a 5. Yes, you are able to get into Hans's brain.
Already.
What are you trying to get?
So we've got, well, I can't ask Hans to give us information directly, but now that I'm in here, I wanna know what all these number codes are and what they
Oh,
mean.
you wanna know?
What?
Adolf Hitler.
He's not aware of any number codes.
So he doesn't have, there's nothing there for, so all that
He's not
means.
aware of any number codes. So whatever he's been listening to, Hans doesn't have any awareness of. Hans, you do get some visions of Hans on the radio talking with Nazis, but they are visions down near the South Pole. And then you get a couple of visions as they're passing the Horn, southern part of Africa, South Africa, and then radio stops. And the radio stops. The radio actually on the plane hadn't been working for any length of time. And the last vision that you get is of the radio codes there, which he sees as location codes. He recognizes them immediately as geographic location codes. The ones that he just received, a couple hours ago in the plane.
So he doesn't recognize any of the ones that Ronnie has
He hasn't seen
compiled.
them. He hasn't seen them. Ronnie hasn't shown them to
No.
him
Oh, no, that's what I was wanting him to do, was look at those and
Oh,
see
so,
what
okay.
they were, yeah.
yet. Okay, so you have Hans, you peer through the book. That's what he's grabbing them. And you kind of, everything's muffled and in slow motion as you hear Ron say, "What are you doing? Nazis on the bridge." When you're not Hans' head, and he's flipping through the pages, looking through them. They appear to be location codes, and each of them are tied to they are location codes, geographic location codes. And each of them are tied to a name, but you don't the only thing that's consistent in each of the name is Commando Group at the end of each one. So they're location codes, and at the end of them, there's some sort of German name, and they're all like related to Norse gods. So one's like Tyr Commando Group, and then the other one is Loki Commando Group, and all the rest of this. Yeah. So he recognizes them as being location codes.
What does it look like when he does that to Hans? Like, do I know something is happening to Hans?
Yeah, you can see Hans.
I mean, I've seen him do it before, control people, but
Yeah,
I don't
Hans.
think I've ever asked, what does it look like?
No, Hans. It just appears. Hans looks very alert, and he does not respond to outside stimuli. So you can do anything to him, and he seems to be.
So can I spend a fate point to see if any more information can be gleaned with the whole, by tapping his aspect of the Aryan Nazi Cultural Society? I mean,
Well, he doesn't have that as an aspect. You have that. That was you only got the one free one, which was. You have experimentation is God and restore the right through science. But you could tap restore the right. You get.
I also have the, I don't know how to, I just wrote Aryan Nazi Cultural Society because I didn't know how to write the German word for it.
Oh, yeah, the under.
And I got
The group that
the
is-
first, I got experimentation is God. That-
And I want you to take a different one, because that one actually was for restore the right through science. And the other one, what was the one that you had before, the restore the right, remember? I'm gonna give you this one. So you have experimentation is God, restore the right through science, and for the inaugural one, you have the body is a temple that holds God, which is the mind.
Is that what the full one is called?
That's what that other aspect is.
The body is a temple which holds God.
Which is the mind. You're cold, Boots.
Did he learn what rank Hans was?
Skill is +7.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he's fucking the beast, but I just wondered. I don't think my character knows anything that except that Hans is a Nazi.
One second, I'll be right back.
doing Fate with delinquent children at work is pretty entertaining.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, one of the guys.
Can you only do urban games, or do you?
Oh no, we're doing one. It's called. I'm calling it low fantasy. It's high fantasy, but it's only humans and some things are appearing.
Oh, no.
It's entertaining though. Like they're like we go to town and one kid's like, oh yeah, and then I get a bunch of whiskey and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine. You can do that. But then you get drunk and you get -4 to all your rolls. And he's like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. That's funny. It's just
Have you seen
so,
that new Soderbergh movie, Logan Lucky?
no, wait.
It's on Amazon right now. If you have
No, I
Amazon
feel like
Prime.
I've heard of it though.
But it's like a hillbilly heist movie.
Oh really? I
And it's
don't know.
great. Like Daniel Craig does a
Oh,
great
yeah.
American Southern accent. It's probably better than Adam Driver's accent, which is pretty funny considering he's from a different country. But there's this great like prison scene, and like the prisoners, like their demands in this riot is to find out about what's happening in Game of Thrones, but they are only book fans, and so there's this whole great back and forth, and it just like it's such a great little moment because it's like
fucking nerdy.
you're thinking
Oh my
like,
goodness.
oh, well, it's because of Game of Thrones, because of the TV show. They don't even know the TV show exists
Yeah.
because they've been in prison for so long.
Dude, like 2 weeks ago, I read I was reading some great shit on Reddit. It was about people were talking about role playing in prison,
Yeah.
like running D&D because they're in prison,
Yeah,
just
nothing
shit
else to
like
do.
that. I don't know if it was true or not. You know, take it for what it is. But one guy was talking about he was giving a game, and like one of the characters was her, and the healer wouldn't heal him because legit like the healer was a blood, and the other dude was a crib. So he healed the other guy who it like topped him off, you know, but he didn't need it. And then the other guy who needed it, who was in the game, died. His character died. So then they had like a real fight, and people got like shanked or beat up, and then like D&D got banned from the prison.
That's funny.
It's on that board, I have to read if you mess up the game.
That's what I saw. The children are so bad.
Okay,
So bad. Anyway, sorry. Back to the Nazis. Dude,
So yeah, so what had happened was I initially learned the experimentation is God one, and then when I'd gone so
yeah, one was a
deep
place
last
where you
time
had to
that right.
had
So,
the characters.
but the last game I did learn 2 aspects because that's also when I learned
Yeah,
it's
you
all
got-
through the whole Rat Queen like
Yeah, no, that's
deep
fine.
dive.
You,
yeah,
so you
what
got
was her
3.
name? I can't
You have 3.
remember what
Restore
her
any
name
rank.
was.
8 points. Anybody who remembers who the rat?
I didn't write it down,
Matriarch's
so I don't
name
know
is.
what her name is.
The rat matriarchs?
Yeah, what was her name?
That was Anna.
Say again.
That was Anna.
Close.
Juden.
Really close. Anybody else?
Oh,
And?
it was Work Will Set You Free.
I bought him Frey.
Ina?
No, it's not.
It was Final Solution.
Han.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. It's a goddamn German way of saying it. That's a goddamn.
Yeah, no, it's not, you know what, but I'm gonna give it to you because that's, you had a
I
big
don't,
memory.
I don't think I wrote that one
I
down.
don't get fake points for being an anti-Semite.
No, you- Sorry, I failed. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
I guess
gents,
that's
so
a good
we-
one.
Why is this one shut off?
That's that, yeah.
Dude, I have a
Special
good.
one.
Well, hold on. I have a good one. Do you just want me to bring it?
Yeah.
Do you want it?
I guess I just don't understand why it shuts off. Like there's a switch in it or
I
something.
think you should take it back where you can get it swapped.
Yeah,
think the
it seems
overload
like
there
it
keeps
seems like
tripping.
it's
Yeah.
it seems like something's wrong with it.
Well, if you turn it all the way down and then in a minute, turn it back on, it will work. So I think there's an overload in there that's tripping.
Yeah, 'cause that's how we got it to work again last time.
I'm just gonna plug it for a
I'd
little
say
bit.
it's fine in here, though. I mean,
Yeah, I'm wearing
it's
shorts.
well,
You're the one
Yeah.
pulling it.
this is a light jacket. This is a light jacket.
Okay, so we are back.
This is
So
yeah.
anyways, you got the
So
codes.
that-
Right there.
Yeah, and well, I guess that
That's
kind
a
of
pointer
I
dog.
don't know if that really I don't know if there's something
Weren't you
worth
gonna pay a
tapping
fake,
there.
you're gonna pay a fake point to do what though? You said.
Well, that's because I thought I had the one about the because Ronnie had said that a lot of the stuff was about the young and recruitment and the whole, that's why I thought the whole,
You can
maybe I
invoke
could
that.
tap the Aryan culture.
You can invoke that still. You can invoke the restore the right.
Oh, I guess that
Well,
would
he
be.
could tag any of the aspects from right.
Yeah,
To use his skill, like.
but they have to be related to what you're trying to do.
Sure.
So the restore the right one you could.
Okay.
What is it that you're trying to figure out? Just formulate the question before you pay me. What are you doing?
Animal thing.
I was slid down. but-
Yeah, he was on a chain. He had us on a chain. He was on a chain though, like a badass.
Yeah, unlike Hans doing all shit. Unclick your carabiner.
Yeah.
Hans, I actually had.
How widespread is
He's
the
like-
Nazi presence, and how big of a foothold do they actually have in the world? Because we're all in the dark. We actually assumed, I mean, until we met Hans, we assumed that Nazis were pretty much gone.
Sure.
And
Sure.
if
I
there's
was
all
gonna
this
say
going
we
on-
know.
So you have, what you get are imagery of Hans in base 211 in New Schwabenland, and he's talking to Joseph Goebbels, and Goebbels is, has a map on of the world, where basically has arrows leaving Antarctica, and it shows Nazi influence. It appears in red and black, you know, like paint kind of going over the world. It has Argentina,
That's what I was saying. How many arrows go to Argentina?
it has Argentina, has Tehran.
Oh,
You have some in Southeast Asia, some in India, and some in Mexico.
South Africa?
There is a contingency in South Africa, but it's a very small dot.
Okay.
South Africa is controlled by the British right now.
I was gonna say that didn't seem to look racist. The apartheidists.
And you see something in German, which then kind of like morphs into English, so you can read it, which says Nazis influence, Nazi sphere of influence, and likely allies. And then you also see
Sphere or fear?
sphere,
Okay, that makes more sense in context.
Is
I
there-
wrote down fear and was like.
and then you also see no,
Okay.
and then you see.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to ask for your. I'm not trying to ask for your character.
Boots is gonna come back up because he just burned.
Sorry, Jerome.
Okay, and then yes, and so then you also hear Goebbels. He's talking to. Well, you hear Hitler's voice, but you don't see Hitler. But you hear his voice, and it appears as if Goebbels is having a conversation directly with Hitler, and Hitler is talking about how they need to capture the Nazi youth, and they need to actively be recruiting Aryans from these allied nations, and they need to be subversively manipulating these nations, but doing it covertly.
But this is like Hans is in the room.
Correct.
Observing it.
Correct. Hans is in the room
Observing this conversation.
having a conversation with Hitler. And then also you see that word Kommandogruppen, and you see a bunch of different what they look like special units. Has he been banished?
Just put them in one of those bins.
So and then you see Kommandogruppen. What you see are a bunch of like stormtroopers, and they have like death's head masks. They're like they're some sort of body armor. You can't tell what they are, but they actually are pieces of steel, or appear to be steel, but they're like the Punisher's skull.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
on their face, and they have Kommandogruppen, and they all have Norse names, and they're loading into different planes. Big old shut your gosh darn mouth, dog. Come here.
So they're loading the planes like what we have? Or-
Yeah, they're loading into. Well, actually, there's a couple of them that look. You've never seen them before, but they have rotors that spin up like helicopters.
Are there any jets?
Yeah, there are jets that are there, and the planes all take off, and you see them flying out from the icy coldness. And then you also see a boat that looks like a whaling ship or a transport ship, and it docks in New Schwabenland, and Aryan people are getting off of it, and some of them are speaking Spanish, some of them are speaking, Portuguese, yes. Some of them are speaking Arabic, and they're getting off of the boat, and they're basically getting all their belongings taken from them. But they seem to be happy. They're excited to be there.
And where did they land?
New Schwabenland in Antarctica.
Did the Jews go to Israel in this game? That's one thing I don't think that's in the book. Is that a thing? It might not be important for our story, but.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to Israel. You have to look at the map.
Well, if Nazis are important to the game, Jews are important.
Well, I was gonna say, are the British in control of Iraq and British Palestine and all that?
No.
The protectorate in the Middle East?
No, they're all aligned.
Not that my character knows anything about what he just saw. I'm just.
No, well, look at here. This is color coded.
Dude, where did you get a color one?
On the website?
Yeah,
You didn't.
I think they're unaligned.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. USSR, bro. What the fuck? That makes sense, actually.
Okay, so anyways, so that's the information that you get. As you come in there and you see Hans be released from mind control, Hans says, what's happened? What is going on? My mind hurts. Ronny says,
Sorry, Hans, trying to be Jim.
whoa, Victor!
That's the other Ronny.
Long time! He comes and gives you a big hug.
Yeah, just, you know.
And he says, where were you? We lost contact, and I don't know, that was part of this. I just got this up here in the last year, but you stopped coming, so I had no way to communicate to you.
Yeah, I tried. I couldn't get through.
Most of the radios, that's what I was hearing from all the refugees who came by. The radio doesn't work. Radio doesn't work anywhere. I was only able to get past this cloud cover, but it's so thick.
How the fuck did you get that antenna up there?
It's on a balloon. I have it on it's a hot air balloon that runs on propane. I run it as long as I can, and I put it up for periods of time just to see if I can get any word out. I've been able to pick up messages from as far as Japan. It sounds like it sounds like there's places in the world that are covered in shit like this one.
I really find that hard to believe these days.
I look at you and say, said Skeeter
Yeah, get to that.
acts Ronnie's radio.
He's like, yeah, well, then he points at it, he's like, yeah, but this is this motherfucker you're playing.
Friend's a strong word.
I agree with that statement.
Look what he did to my radio. That was the only way for us to communicate to the outside world, and now we're completely
I'm gonna look at him and be like, seriously, what the fuck? Did it look at you funny?
No, they just said he was a Nazi, so I just kind of felt like he probably was. So
he's a Nazi, so you shot his radio.
Well, that's a bunch of Nazi German language coming off that thing. I didn't hear nothing else. So
Yeah, I look at Victor. Hitler's alive, Victor.
Are you guys on drugs? You guys walked into a room after getting attacked by snakes, and you have to shoot a radio, and you're talking about
no, it was an X.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What does Han say when I say Hitler's alive? What does Han do?
Were you afraid of the radio? Why did you?
Mike,
You heard something bad on the radio?
No,
Adolf
I
Hitler,
didn't
Victor.
know you're. I didn't know you were
Adolf
afraid of
Hitler.
Ronnie. I thought maybe he was a Nazi and going to be sending off messages to them, just like Hans was trying to do on the plane.
Was he trying to send a message?
Not at that time.
None of this makes
Yeah.
no sense.
And then I say, Adolf Hitler!
There hasn't been a new radio made, and I don't know how many years now. And you just waste the last one you see.
it's like, I think I can repair it, but I don't know.
Well, you were the best radio guy I've ever met, Ronnie. Maybe we'll see what we can do here later. So tell me, what is left of this place?
You're looking at it. We had a couple of people that were stayed behind after these worms showed up. I don't know what they were. They came up maybe about a year ago. Swim through the sand like water.
Do you know what direction they seem to come from?
Haven't a clue. We had some contact with the Texas Rangers. They hadn't seen anything like it. And then, what I will say, about the same time is when I started to get those German radio signals. Thing with the German radio signals. But they've been coming through consistently, more than any other thing, are this German propaganda. new speeches from Hitler. The guy's dead, but it sure sounds like him on the radio.
Yeah, these days, if you, any contact you make with Germans, there's bound to be some kind of fucked up animal that goes with them. From my experience.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, this is.
You should have seen what, this is Hans, by the way.
Well, hello.
He's an
Yeah.
ally for the moment,
Yeah.
and, he unleashed a rat horde up in Grass Valley, so that's
No, I
no
did not
longer,
I did not unleash the whole. His mother was angry. She was. You cannot control creatures in their.
No, Hans, you didn't.
he's still
You're a
Yeah,
goddamn Nazi!
You might not have unleashed that horde technically, but you did create Hannah and all her offspring, and therefore that horde is your baby.
Listen, I saved Hannah. She would have been murdered within. I loved Hannah. She was a beautiful creature acting within her nature. And
intention,
you killed her.
intentions aside,
Does he look at me? when I
Benji,
say
I
that?
don't know about you, but would you rather be killed or become some rat horde that pumps out a bunch of rat man babies?
intentions
I just look at
aside,
Hans and say, I'm going to kill Adolf Hitler. What does Hans say?
So much going on here.
I know.
Okay, look,
we try to talk again,
That's what's going
intentions
on.
aside,
It's crazy right now in this
they're
room.
doing all kinds of
It's
experiments with
crazy.
animals. So, it wouldn't surprise me if, 50 miles that way, somebody has, this is somebody's lab rat, or lab pet. These fucking snake eels, or whatever they are.
Sorry, you're talking Ronny. Ronny says, yeah. Well, regardless,
Okay,
I'm happy to see a plane because assuming that the depot 2 miles down the road is still intact, it hasn't been raided by anybody, got enough fuel in there to be able to get us the hell out of there.
oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Ronnie. What
Yeah.
else do we have for resources? This place is fucked, we're gonna have to leave.
Yeah, no, Tom, if I have any vote on it, I think we need to go east to the Texas Rangers. They're the closest ones that I've heard. American government hasn't done shit for us in the last three years.
I laugh.
What
There isn't an
other,
American.
what other supplies do you have left here?
Earl Warren's president, hadn't you heard?
What other supplies do you have left here?
Here, so if you're looking, he goes over to the table that he had the radio on, and he takes it as a big plywood. It's not a table; it's just a piece of plywood that he moves off and unfurls a blanket, and they're just big cans of sacked food goods that made up his table. That's what I have left. That's food. Whatever supplies, guns, or everything else have been taken out by the refugees who came by.
What about, just technical stuff, spare parts for,
Whatever's left in the depot, I don't know. There might be some old transistors there, and maybe an old Jeep or two. Was it not?
No.
Bell Laboratories like the sixties?
Yeah, it's like the 50s, yeah, it's like.
These are tubes, so,
Tubes.
yeah.
Rewind. Erase.
Fuck it, or just say the Nazis have transistors.
Nazis probably absolutely do. But
Well, yeah, the Nazis probably have.
regardless, he says
computers
there
on
might
the
be some
moon.
there might be some old radio tubes there. And
Why is there nothing here? You're a radio guy, what,
I don't know if you've noticed, but I can't go out 10 feet without an acid spitting worm popping out of the sand.
whoa, these fuckers spit acid?
Yes, no, that's what I'm trying to explain.
Skeeter, go make contact. No.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. They spit acid. You can't make it 10 feet without them jumping
So,
up and eating me alive.
Anywhere else on this compound,
Come here,
we
buddy.
can find more supplies.
No, the depot. That's the last spot that's
How the
not-
hell are we gonna get to this depot, Ronnie? We got a goddamn motorcycle on that plane, that's it.
I think that crane still drives.
Whoa. What? Aren't they gonna jump up when we're driving?
No, they don't. They're not attracted. They're attracted to things that can eat. Can't eat a crane.
Well, how do they know that they can't eat a
Because it
crane?
sounds big and it's scary. I don't know. But I look like a goddamn worm therapist.
It's Hans?
All I can tell you is that the crane doesn't seem to bring them.
I asked Hans. Hans, have you ever heard of anything like this?
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like the legendary Mongolian death one. but I don't know much about them, only in insofar as that they are poisonous to the touch, but of course it's all legend, fable, you know, it's not real.
What, fatal poison? What
Fable.
fire did?
Fable, like a fairy tale, you know?
Like story.
Yeah, like
Well,
Hans and Gretel.
what them Mongolian worms doing in the
That's a
North
very
American
good question,
continent?
I don't know.
Where the hell is Mongolia?
Well, that is a geography question I can answer, I don't have a
I would
map.
say the Nazi Express, if you had to ask me. But, I think, what we need to do, Ronnie, is, take everything we have here with us.
He says,
Whatever propane you have left, that balloon, this antenna,
Is that a dog?
Yes, it was.
did you just vomit?
No, but it sure sounded like it. Right next to my shoe, so
That was a dog. I still don't believe that.
Yeah, that's him, he's made that.
even
You okay, buddy? Come here.
Are you? Is your dog a Nazi?
He's, yeah, he looks like one, doesn't he? He looks like a little tiny German Shepherd. Little miniature pincher.
is it all sand between here and,
Yeah.
it is, at the depot, there's a runway?
No, the depot is, it has a concrete foundation.
I know, but there's,
No,
it's not a plain depot?
Well, okay, I look at Ronnie and I said, well, a crane, how long is it gonna take us to drive that there? We gonna go drive there and drive back? This sounds insane.
Yeah.
Are there bigger ones?
Yes.
What the hell, we saw some in that other building, and I point out the window to the other building. It was there was a person in some kind of a sack. I put a bullet through his head, and then 20 of them fell out.
He said, that's not the only part of their life cycle. There's two parts. The worm is the first. And the second, what's what happened to that poor son of a bitch? He was in there trying to get the last of the gas for the crane, to be able to fill it up, to be able to go to the depot.
When did that happen? He was still alive. He was talking to us
He
before.
was
I
the
put a bullet in
last
his head.
one. He was the last one who was with me. It happened 2 days ago.
Are we gonna be able to make? Wait, is the gas still in there? Do we need to fuel that crane up?
He said, yes, we're gonna need to fuel the crane up, the gas is still in that other building. And I suggest we do it before nighttime, because you don't wanna see the other thing that comes out.
Oh, fuck, what comes out at nighttime?
Well, what impregnated my buddy and hung him up there in the rafters with those eggs, fly demons. So he said,
fly demons.
What is
fly
What the-
demons.
what is
What time of day is it?
what is Hans? What does
I didn't
Hans say
know
to
that.
fly
He
demons?
says, Hans says, that's very colorful. He says, I have to make up the name, goddammit. That's what everybody else called them. Seemed to fit.
Well, what does that sound like to you, Hans?
What?
Hans.
Yeah?
Fly demons, what does that sound like?
I don't know, that sounds like American folktale, maybe?
Well, yeah, okay. I look out the window to see what time it is.
It's maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun's coming down. You guys got
I'm
2
sorry,
hours
what?
of sunlight.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was gonna say we're in the summer, right?
Yeah, a late spring, early summer.
Okay.
We
Okay.
make April, around this time, a couple months ahead.
Are we
Okay.
safe in the plane at night?
Well, I don't, look, anything, as long as we're quiet and we don't make too much noise, we don't make too much light, they won't attack us, but I'll tell you, these things are big as hell. I make a chair right through sheet metal, and as he looks up and shows you the roof, boots, you need to stop, buddy, you need to stop, come here. As he points up to the sheet metal, and you can see what look like puncture holes through them. They like maybe this big around. The metal, it looks like somebody put a spike right through them. Let me say, well, so we learned the hard way.
How in the hell have you survived?
He looks at you and says, barely.
Oh.
He's like, I can't wait to get out of here.
Okay, we have a logistics problem, is we're never gonna get to the
Yeah.
depot and back with fuel in time to get out of here by night.
He said we could just make it if we we need to get that fuel out of there.
We do got one piece of human bait if we want to use them as such.
Nice.
Well, Skeeter, that's very heroic. But,
He ain't talking about me. But before maybe we do that, Hansa boy, I'm just curious, how long ago was it you last saw your good friend Joseph Goebbels?
Oh, we left, it's been maybe 12 months.
So is
48, yeah.
Okay.
so to the best of your knowledge, Hitler's still alive, or was alive then when you were talking with your good buddy Joseph?
He gets reverential when you say Hitler again.
He takes off his hat. He takes off his hat and he puts his arm
starts
on
touching
it.
himself.
My Führer. In mind, he's never been stronger.
You're that shifty ass shit in minding there about
Yeah,
something.
what in the hell does that mean, Hans? Either he's alive or he's dead.
Yeah.
Is there a man walking right now named Adolf Hitler?
Well, yeah, we have many Adolf Hitlers in the Schwabenland. Maybe it's the most common baby name amongst the area.
You mean you're telling me you're naming your babies Adolf Hitler and then their last name? That doesn't make any sense.
No.
Adolf Hitler.
Adolf and Hitler are
Oh.
the most common first and last baby names.
How many babies do you have, Hans?
I have many children. I guess we're
A
serious.
lot of them are rat men.
Oh yeah, and then he says
There are different sorts of children, but no, I have many human children.
that. You Schwaben, at the goddamn South Pole?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you think experimentation is God, but that ain't children, man.
I'm not talking about Hannah. She is a beast, truly, but
Well,
Hannah,
she was. We kind of blew her up.
I know. You get serious about that thing.
Yeah, then I asked Hans one more question. After the, I said, what do I say? I shake my head, noosh, and then, like, I'm trying to say it, but I'm sure then Hans probably corrects me, because I still can't say, look. Would we be welcome there?
Yeah, your allies.
Yeah.
Wonderful,
And
wonderful allies.
then I roll my report to see if he's full of shit or not.
Sure.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, okay, so 7.
You get the sense that Han thinks of you as allies.
Okay.
You get the sense that Han thinks of you as allies.
So you gotta
That
ask
doesn't
the
mean
question.
that doesn't mean that
Sure.
other people
Yeah.
there would think.
Okay.
But you feel that Han has a lot of clout.
Well, not that I know, but out of character, it's,
Moods.
okay. I guess I'd look at Victor and Hans and Skeeter and I'd say, well, are we gonna wait out the night, or are we gonna get on that goddamn crane and see what's at this depot?
Well, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Well, I guess I look at Ronnie too. When was the last time you've been to the depot, Ronnie? How do you know it hasn't been, the supplies haven't been taken?
I don't. But it's our best chance of getting out of here, and that's what I sent Bill to go do. And as you can see, we were hard up, and that's why I sent Bill. But Bill didn't make it. And luckily, manna from heaven, you guys showed up. So I suggest we could go.
I say we get out of here too, Ronnie. Ronnie, why don't you take those, as many of those journals as you can with you, in case we, I know in general what they are, but I don't know specifically what they are yet, so.
Yeah.
Hi. And if I had a radio, I was real close to figuring it out, but somebody seemed to take that into their own
They
hands.
kind of say, God damn it, Ronnie.
Well, I already apologized for that, goddammit, and I told you, if you'd written with us, I might still be able to solve it. I thought I was gonna be able to solve it a minute ago,
And I
goddammit.
said, we got a radio and a real life Nazi, Ronnie. Your problems are solved.
It's a peanut gun.
You shoot dog bullets. Alright.
Are there any other vehicles on the property?
Not that you can see now.
And I
No, I'm
say,
asking Ronnie.
Oh, Ronnie says, I think all of them have been taken. I'm not sure. There might be one in the garage across the way. He points down to that building.
Well, you guys have already been in the, where the fuel was. Did you see any fuel or anything?
Can't see nothing but a meat sack.
yeah,
Turn
we
it
saw
on.
a sack of,
You weren't looking for fuel.
no,
That
we
turns
saw a
out.
sack of long pork of Victor.
No, I don't think, Make my snake have no.
Yeah, no, the snake, what attracted your attention was the swing
Oh,
sagging.
yeah, the pulsating, it's white membrane, I'm sure it was dripping.
Anyway, have you tried baiting these things or scaring them off?
No,
You haven't tried anything?
Look at Mr. Logical,
Look,
he just, well,
I
he,
have had the resources to try anything. I've been here literally held up with this, a radio.
I don't mean right now, Ronnie, I mean when we're in numbers.
When we were in numbers, the only logical thing to do was to either run or to stay and fight. We thought we could shoot them, but they're armored, and we didn't have the weapons to be able to penetrate that.
Any weapons on the base left?
He just pulls out a BAR that he has.
What? He has a beating
And then he's like, this is the only thing that I have left. But again, the depot, you remember, it's where we kept most of the vehicles. If there's anything that's left down there, it's down that way. Once the worm showed up, we didn't end up venturing out too far. The
Alright, so,
attacks started happening on the outskirt, and then it came closer and closer until we, had got in town. By the time we realized how they were tracking us, we started raising up the buildings, but most of us ended up dying before then.
okay, so
It seemed to evolve the ability to spit acid.
from what I know of the crane there, how fast does it go?
I don't know,
I said, before he blown
10, 20 miles an hour?
Alright, so we got plenty of time to make it there and back. in
Well,
about an hour.
Ronnie, you get all this food, and I point up his fucking shit table or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Let's get all the food, Ronnie, you get all the guns, the gear, anything that's useful, let's get it on this plane, and then we're gonna have to go, you and Hans and Skeeter and me and Victor, we're gonna have to go get this. And I said, look, I pointed at Hans, like, you're coming with us.
So this-
Is the tarmac even safe if the worms,
The
can they
worms-
go up on solid ground?
He says they don't, it seems that the sound of footprints seem to be diffused on the tarmac, so it seem to be safe there. So once you get onto the sand, the soft sand, or wood, just like this building,
Is that why you raised the building up?
yeah, so I raised that one up, well, that's when we had 4 of us. We don't have the capability, plus the worms seem to be dividing whatever was been out there. There seems to be some sort of new food source here in Nevada in the last year.
Well, hopefully they're eating the big bastards that come at night. Anyway,
It's like, you haven't seen how big they get. But yeah, this building has wood, and that's why I'm up here in the second floor, because the bottom floor of this building's all wood. So anyways, he starts wrapping up all of the food into
Yeah.
bindles, tying them up and putting them on the cable, and he puts himself, he gets his gun in the cable, and he starts like scooting his
what
way up
about
the
the
cable.
antenna on it?
What about the antenna?
That's what I said before, bring it down and we'll save the fuel and the antenna.
Yeah, propane's not gonna help you, fly the plane.
So, it's propane.
Well, how does he take it down though?
Can I make
How do you
a
put it
story
up?
declaration?
Say that.
Can I make a
I
story
imagine-
declaration?
He said he puts it up for
I-
small bouts of time.
Yeah.
So he's always taking it down.
That's true, I
I
imagine he
was
sends
like-
it up on some, he must have some kind of timer.
They're
to burn
distracted
rate,
by
and then it-
with the, well, I can tell you how he does that, but.
Well, yeah, so,
Whatever. I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah, go
because of how. I can't come up with phrasing that doesn't sound terrible. Because of how
This is
often and deep I've been inside Hans's mind now. I would like to make a story declaration that I am,
It's okay. It's okay.
You can't come in, buddy.
I now kind of like always have an alert on him. So I have a sense of where he is, or what, if he was gonna do something like against the group. Like I just have like a spider sense of, not like I know everything he's thinking, it's just more like kind of have a,
I
Like a
am,
hold my pocket aspect.
like a whole night, no, I'm gonna veto that, but I have to pay you a fate point to veto it. So, it's a good call. But I'm vetoing it. It's too powerful for one fate point.
okay.
It's a good idea though. And it's the right idea with fate points. They feel like story declarations. It's just, it's deep, which is true. You have been deep inside mine a couple of times. But you already kind of have him in with him as long as you're within touching distance. So, okay. So what we do? Ronny says, he said, yeah, he could bring down the balloon, and that he could bring down the balloon. The radio had a powered electric switch, which it now doesn't have anymore because the radio's burnt out. So he had an electric switch who could turn off the propane because it's an electric igniter. Closes a valve up there.
Radio controlled?
Yeah, it was electric wire. You could send an electrical signal up this wire, which held the antenna at the top. But since the switch is destroyed down here, he's not able to send the electrical signal, so he can't shut the valve off on the propane tank. So hence, you're gonna have to wait for it to burn out, and then it'll get cool, and it'll.
So can I just tell him to, or just jerry rig it? I mean, it's just a switch. You open it or you close it.
Yeah, for sure. You can try to, yeah. You want to spin the craps roll? Go for it.
7.
Yeah, you're able to get the on and off switch. It's still gonna take a while for it to cool off.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if, all right, Ronnie, you wanna stay here while we go to the depot?
He said, I'm getting on that plane, I'm bringing over the stuff, that's what the sheriff said.
All right, let that thing drift down. We'll get whatever we want.
Yeah,
And, go ahead, Ronnie, you go first.
Ronnie
No,
scoots.
wait, what's left of the fucking radio?
Yeah,
And put it in,
Yeah,
box or
he's tied-
satchel or whatever.
yeah, he's tied a couple satchels and boxes, and he's scooting his way up. He scoots his way back onto the plane, and Ronnie then brings up all the rest of those bags of food and the broken ass radio up there.
And the journals, yes.
Yeah, he has the journal. Bye. He has the journals in his. You can let the pup back in. Say again? Yeah, you should go to bed, but I'm gonna let Boots back in. Okay. What's wrong?
What?
What's wrong?
I'm not just so glad to see them.
Oh, look at you.
The dog? I don't know if I believe that.
Okay, so he gets back over into the plane. He brings over that other stuff. You guys are still.
He's over here now.
Yeah, that's Ronnie.
Okay.
Perfect. The rest of you guys are still down there. You made a decision about what you're going to do.
I'm gonna go, well,
Well, we gotta get over to the crane, for one thing, but we also have our Jimbo Bob, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is up there. He's just still chilling and.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on. You have good emotion about it, and
I
you're
like, there's
Oh,
this
yeah.
dude, like,
Well-
he's at the crane, we're going to him, but there's some other dude, like, he could give us some information. I'd kinda like to know what's going on over there, if there's any supplies, maybe he's dead, I don't know.
you don't-
well, and I look at
and it's
Skeeter.
getting dark.
I look at Skeeter too, and I was like, God damn it, I got this guy. Atlas, and he runs over. He was I don't know. He was fucking licking a plate from Ronnie because Ronnie's probably a slob.
Yes, he was.
I gotta get this guy. He's gotta get back on the plane too.
Ronnie was on the other plane. He
No, Atlas gotta get back.
Yeah,
Oh,
Atlas
Atlas
ain't
isn't
going
going.
across a zip line.
Yeah.
Well, you could put Atlas in the crate box that he put the radio in. He just.
Okay. Well. Okay.
So yeah, that's not. I mean, that's not.
Sure, I use my powers on Atlas, which I would say I probably don't usually use my powers on him,
Yeah.
like my because he's like my friend anyway. But I let him know, it's like, you gotta get in this box, boy. It's not gonna, I know you're not gonna like it. I know you're not gonna like
Any of
it.
us, any
I
of
know
us
you're not
have
gonna like it.
athletics? You got athletics? You got athletics? I mean, like actual athletics?
What is
Like,
actual athletics?
It's athletics.
What is the actual-
Like, I mean, do you actually have it
Oh,
listed
actually
as
have it
a
as a skill,
Yes.
Yeah, plus 2.
Oh, you're,
Plus 3.
oh, plus 3, that's pretty good.
I just I'm just dummy.
After the Tahoe game, I'm like, he has to be tough, and he has to be able to fucking move.
Well, I was just wondering, like, maybe somebody that has athletic skills might be able to, as they're going along here, this is just a crane, like, you can go to check in with this dude.
It's not that far.
It's
I mean,
not that
it's-
hard, he can run, he can run.
You could run. Somebody could run, but you would need to make an athletics roll against whatever's out there.
Who would?
Well, but I'm talking about across the line, you go zip, 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 zip. Boom.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
crane.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
Sure.
mean, I would imagine that would require athletic skill, which I'm
No, you could not too much because put it like that. The zip line goes right over top of the crane, so conceivably you could pick the guy up.
Oh, I see.
If you zip line like a rope down to
Wait,
him,
it goes over the top of the crane?
The
I
crane.
shot it from here to here.
Here's
I
the
was
zip
just-
line. Here's the arm of the crane.
What are we trying to do?
You're trying to get this
fuel the
guy.
crane.
Well, we've got this guy.
He's coming with us.
And there's this guy too, that we don't know what's going
He
on.
can run.
Can you see that other
He can
guy?
run.
He hasn't, nobody's talked to him.
Okay, so call it, what's his name?
His
Can I-
name?
Yeah.
His name is Jeremy.
Can I zip like?
I'm
fuck
just, before I go back, or before I go back, just, Jeremy, can you hear me?
He comes out of the door, he says, "What's going on?"
Don't touch the sand, you know that part.
See?
Can you, I mean, he just ran from the fucking snakes,
Sure.
instinct, like,
Yes.
ask him if he can, I'm gonna ask, can you get to, oh wait, what's inside the building you're in?
He looks around, he says,
At the fuel building?
"Yeah, no, this is the field."
No, that's
Okay.
Nothing, just some people's belongings, some clothes and broken chairs, nothing.
Alright, try to get on the roof.
Okay.
We're gonna try to, pick you up with the crane. Don't touch the sand.
You're smart.
Yeah, perfect. So he gets up on there, are you asking the militiaman to move the crane over to try and get on the
If
roof?
does a militiaman even know how to use a crane?
Well, are you asking?
Ask him, hey militiaman on the crane. What's
You
his
probably
name?
know what his name is. Leroy!
His name's Rod.
Aw.
Rod.
Rod, you know how to use that thing?
I wanted to
No.
say it'd be Leroy.
Alright, hang tight. I'm gonna zip over to the,
You're gonna zip over the crane? Okay.
Yeah, can I declare that I sent Atlas over on the box?
Yes,
So-
Atlas is over on the plane.
Okay, and then I fucking.
Thank you for all that.
And
Well,
then
it
I,
was bugging me that like for a long time Hans wasn't over here, and I was like, he's not on the plane. He's supposed to be over.
yeah,
Check him out,
and
so he
I
crazy.
kind of, well, here's what I do, I kind of I push Hans and I say, we're going to that goddamn crane. And he gets on with his fucking Nazi-ass belt and slides over,
Okay.
and I'm right behind him.
Okay, so he's a Nazi Hans is on the crane,
Yeah.
and so is the sheriff as well.
Hey, can you be the sheriff of a county that's burned to
Oh,
the
sure.
ground?
if,
So what do you do?
I'm gonna check see how much fuel is in there.
Not enough to drive to the depot. It's on the
But enough to
depot.
maneuver
Fuck,
for a
that's
little
right.
while.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna start it up, and I'm gonna pick up,
Let's think Hans would
what was it, Rod?
You're gonna pick up Jeremy.
Jeremy. Pick up Jeremy,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell him to,
Jeremy's able to get to the roof. Jeremy hops on the crane, move the crane over,
put
grab him in
him
there,
back on the,
the crane can-
tarmac.
and the crane can move to get them all. They can climb up the crane to get to the zip line.
Right.
Okay. So you get them all back on the plane.
Okay, now here's the plan. We're not gonna walk over to where the fuel is, we're gonna just drop the crane, we're gonna drive over there, and somebody's going to,
Well, the crane can spin around, right? You got
Right.
360. So you have it at this room right now. You're just gonna spin it over here. Is what you're saying?
yeah, wherever the fuel is.
Okay. So he's manning the crane. He-
Oh, man.
Yeah, correct. Now the crane, there it is. So the crane is over here, touching the roof of this building.
Now, do all these have, were they originally dropped in
I
as
mean, I would've ran
buildings?
across,
Like,
cause
do
my
they
guy's
have-
dumb.
Hooks on them, these buildings, or were they?
No, they
Okay.
weren't dropped in. No, these are the location where they've been. He was using the crane to lift up the tips of edges of buildings to get bricks underneath them.
Got it. What, is that one elevated, not elevated?
This one is not elevated.
And what, just go off of memory, what kind of tanks are in there for fuel? Are they big tanks?
You don't know. You haven't been in the building.
Well, I used
We
to,
did.
like,
We did.
work here.
Yeah, you used to work here 3.5 years ago. You have no
So
idea.
I'm
what's in this
not-
building. You have no idea what's in that building. It's been moved over, the stuff that's been moved around, what was originally in there, it was a garage for cars.
Alright, so I'll just yell out to Ronnie, what kind of tanks are these fuels in the fuel in?
It's like, there should be gas cans.
Wait,
Just
is Ron-
individual cans, jerry cans?
Jerry's cans.
Is Ronnie on the crane?
No,
No,
Ronnie's
shouting.
shouting from the plane.
Ronnie, get your ass over here. How the fuck are we gonna get to the depot without Ronnie?
He
Anyway.
knows where the depot's at.
Okay.
He knows the general
Sure,
location,
sure.
down the road.
I mean, the crane can drive, we can drive over the tarmac.
Down the road.
So,
Okay, anybody, so the crane is there, is anybody trying to get in the building, or?
I'm gonna
Well, there
go,
was a second level, right? There was a second level when we were.
There's not a second level that has rafters like this.
Yeah, I look at,
Oh, it had rafters.
I look at Victor and I say, Victor, how much fuel do we need? 1 can, 2 cans, 3 cans? What kind of?
I want as much fuel as we put in there.
God damn it. I look at,
These are not, fuel economy vehicles.
I look at him, fuel, I don't even know what that means. I look at Hans though. Today's your day, buddy, you're coming with me. And, I start to, I guess, scramble up the boom or whatever, I don't know.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, boom, that's the word I was
I'm gonna
looking
take the
for.
boom
Yeah.
and I'm going to, in a slow way,
I'm listening.
push the building over.
You're gonna pull, push.
Like try to pull the roof, just dismantle it so we can reach the things from
Oh,
the
I
top.
see what you're saying. Okay, make me a, drive check.
Also, I take Hans's, can I take Hans's hat?
Listen, you wanna take his Nazi hat?
Yeah.
What do you want to do with it?
Wear it.
Oh, God.
Why? Yeah, you can.
Nancy, don't start wearing that Nazi hat.
You're right, I'm sorry, I don't do that, that's
That's
what,
why I shoot you on.
that's what I wanna do, but sure, I don't
Four.
take it.
Okay,
I don't
what's
take
your
that.
drive at?
One, just a good one.
Okay,
My
so,
drive is 4, by the way, but I don't know how to operate a crane, so.
he wouldn't either, but you would have the same sort of difficulty.
Sure.
But you can figure it out.
Between the craft and the drive and the pilot, whatever.
So you are able to use the crane's hook and pull the roof off, and it just kind of collapses into a pile here. So it's just a big open box now.
All right,
And,
who wants
Can we see
to,
into it?
who wants to ride pitch?
but whoever's driving it can't see, but if somebody climbs on top of the boom, they can see it too.
Yeah, no, I go up, but I coerce Hans into come with me. Well, actually, I'm sorry, I use my rapport, I say, Hans, our only chance of meeting up with your friends in the North Pole or the South Pole or wherever these new scooty booty lands are, we gotta get this gas, so we can go and get this, fuel at the
Okay.
depot.
Hans says, I don't feel like I'm the best person for this job. Where's that madman, Ronny? He seems like he knows
Yeah. The madman.
where he is.
When he says madman, I chuckle, but I say, Hans,
This is Hans, you got 2 eyeballs, you know what a gas can looks
Hans,
like,
it's
that's
you
what
and-
we need right now.
it's you and me, Hans.
Get up there.
It's you and me, Hans.
Okay, Hans goes. Yeah, Hans goes. Yes, so you guys are basically trying to.
Yeah, Hans and I are.
Bring
Yeah.
some,
Hans and I are
throw it out
climbing
there,
up
bring
there.
some rope. You know, you're gonna wanna,
Yeah, I'm
as soon as you start making noise, it's gonna be a
Sure.
problem.
I have Hans climb first,
Yeah, so Hans is at the tip of the boom.
and I'm
And you're
right
right
behind
behind
him. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
I can
and
touch
he
his
can
foot.
look down
I can
and
touch
he
his
sees,
ankle.
I see gas.
All right, how far down can we make it?
He's
Can
like,
you
"Yeah."
jump in there?
He's jumping in there. He's like, no, but remember, this thing has a hook on.
Yeah,
on
you just
the-
lower it down.
Lowers it down, grabs it.
I said, well, you had no problem climbing that airplane wing.
Hans gets on the
Just,
Yeah.
you know, just tell me what you need, Hans.
lower him down, make a drive roll.
You got a 3.
Is he dropping the hook or is
Yeah,
it?
he's dropping the
is
hook and
boom
Hans
lowering?
is, no, he's dropping the hook, so the cable is going down.
Okay,
Here's the boom.
yeah, sure.
Right, the
Well,
cable's
is
going
Hans going down it? If Hans is going down, then I'm gonna go down with him.
down.
I'm
So you
not-
both ride, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave on his
So that's
own.
twice as many jerry cans, so you both are able to pick up
Not
two,
as-
there's
yeah.
4, so you're able to pick up 2, you bring them back up. Are you up the top of the boom to receive the cans of gas?
Why don't I just, I'll just swing over and let him drop them on the tarmac.
They need the gas for the gas is
Yeah, I
not for the
think we
plant,
can-
the gas
Yeah,
is,
but it'll run for a few minutes for me to drive over the tarmac so we can fill it, right?
I'll just fill it right here.
yeah, you just fill it right up where you're at.
Alright.
I mean, you don't need to.
We don't need to
it
get
doesn't-
on
we don't
the
need to get on the
ground.
ground.
We don't need to get on the ground, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
no, you'd be fine. Okay, so now you can immediately do one more dry roll, because there's 2 more cans of gas in there. So you can do another dry roll, drop them down.
Alright. 3.
In the last 4
Take a
episodes,
look.
I've never ever seen you roll a negative. That's kind of
That's
amazing.
not true, I've rolled a few of them.
I'm just impressed.
Only the sheriff rolls bad.
Yeah, okay, so you roll now?
I'm just rolling against, I'm usually rolling against things like crafts, which is already,
You
Yeah,
are
this one's-
deducting those, right? If you get a negative and a plus, you know that means
You know
those go
it's
away,
bad,
it's
right?
not just,
You pull
you
them
get
up,
2 pluses.
you pull them up, and they have 2 more cans. So you guys are able to fill up the crane.
Okay,
Crane is filled up, now what do you do?
I pat Hans on the back and say, good work, Hans.
Yeah, it's good to do hard day's work.
I'm just
Can
gonna
I,
drive over and pick up Ronnie.
Feel free to just shove it.
You want Ronnie to come with you?
I mean,
well,
you said I
what
don't
I
know
do is
anything
when we get
what
to
the layout
town,
is.
we'll put
You
him
know
on-
where the depot
we'll
is.
put him on
You
truck.
know
Where it is,
Well,
but
yeah.
not, does he know what,
But,
like,
you
where
know,
the stuff is within the
we might
depot?
Probably.
join the Nazis.
Okay. I'm gonna get, Ronnie's just gonna zip line.
And
Okay.
Is this Ronnie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're trying to find a bearded
Yeah, I think
character.
Ronnie's
tell
like
them
a
to-
like a Gamorrean.
get in the plane, close it, and lock it.
Ooh,
So there's
I was
one.
hoping it was a
Oh,
dwarf.
yeah,
No,
that's
I
the
think
problem.
it's a dwarf.
Atlas is in the plane, just so you know right now.
Alice is on the plane and he's not gonna go with us to the depot, yes.
Okay, you're making that journey.
Yes, that's what I, yeah.
All right, so we will go to the depot.